Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. I like to post about books and music, mostly Taylor Swift, as you can see. Today I'm going to be reacting to and reviewing Miley Cyrus's newest album, Endless Summer Vacation. I took a nap earlier today and I was just dreaming of this album in anticipation. I'm so excited for this. I haven't watched any of the interviews she's really done yet. I wanted to kind of go into this blind and create my own interpretations. Flowers is one of the best lead singles I feel like I've ever seen. I was a huge fan of Plastic Hearts. Prior to that, I'd kind of fallen off since Hannah Montana, but no one can deny her vocal talent and how distinct her voice is, and a lot of the lyrical concepts even are pretty fun, so I'm excited to see what she's written on this, what she actually has writing credits on, and just really get a feel for this album. I'm so excited. Disclaimer, I will be listening to these through my headphones, so this video does not get blocked for copyright, and I will have timestamps down below if you would like to skip around. I've already listened to Flowers, but I want to listen to it again to get the feel of the album. We are starting and closing this album with Flowers. The last song is the Flowers demo, which I've only listened to once. Yeah, let's just go over my thoughts on why I think this song is so good. I love this album cover. It's got a very summery vibe, swinging on a little swing thing in your cute little bodysuit. Watching this relationship play out musically has been so surreal. I loved Malibu, but now listening to this, it's been a roller coaster. It's so simple, but it's so effective. Somebody called this the I Will Survive of this generation, and it is. Oh, the violins, this funky bass line, this is such a good song. So simple and so effective. The self-love, we need more of that in breakup songs in general. It's so mature. Painting your nails red to match the roses that he left, kind of this insinuation that he's trying to win her back, but she's not bitter. She's not it kind of contrasts the Gloria Gaynor song where it's I should have changed that stupid lock, I should have made you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. She is unbothered in these lyrics, and that's almost worse. She doesn't even think about him anymore, and to even feel so indifferent, but also to still be painting her nails red as an appreciation for the memories is man, this girl has moved on, to herself. And it's interesting because Gloria sings about, I've got all my life to live, I've got all my love to give, she will find another man. But in Flowers, women don't really need men as much as they did back in Gloria's time. There's a feminist undertone that is very, very subtle. I wouldn't even say it's really that feminist. It's just this idea that yourself is enough these days. You know, women can have bank accounts and own property, and you can go your whole life just loving yourself. You don't really need to be in a relationship as a woman. And she's stepping into this, no remorse, no regret, and she's forgiving him. It's just so much indifference. She's a little bit sad, but she's moved on. In I Will Survive, there's some anger and some unresolved feelings, but man, in this one, she's moved on to herself. It's beautiful. I don't see many songs like this. I mean, what more can I say? It's just everything I wanted out of a lead single. And now we're about to discover if it's representative of the rest of the album. Oh, it feels like summertime, this guitar, this drum beat. Okay, so the second verse is talking about someone who is having addiction issues. That's a reason to walk away from someone. They go off and go on these crazy benders, don't know when to stop, so you take it too far. I don't know where you are, and I'm left in the dark till I'm worried, and it hurts me. Very, very simple, and to the point. I'll change my number, but keep your t-shirt. No, no. Ooh, and the second verse saying you're not even willing to look at your part. He's blaming her for how it ended, but she's saying he's not willing to think about how he contributed to the end. I like the guitar at the end. It's very summery and kind of reminds me of Flowers. I feel a cohesive theme so far, but we're only on song 2. Such a good drum beat again. Oh my god, this one's the bedsheets are dirty, sticky sweet lemonade. Oh my god. Ooh, it's got a daydream deja vu. I don't know, this delivery, it feels a little bit rock influenced, even though it's pop. This is definitely more of a pop record. Her last album was very classic rock inspired. Definitely her Reputation era, it was edgier. It's residually leaking onto this album, and I like it. I like that it's slightly gritty pop. And that guitar. Endless Summer Vacation. The title comes from this song. It's very California dreamscapey. I don't know if that even makes sense as an observation. Oh, now it's doing this really cool guitar part for the last chorus. There's not really a bridge. That was nice. It was very, very dreamy. I think that was the intent after looking at the lyrics. It really matches musically. Don't tell me this is a cover of Vanessa Carlson. I will die. Brandy Carlisle? Is that her sister? No, that would be Brandy Cyrus, right? She has a... I was right. She does have a sister named Brandy. I got excited. I thought she was collaborating with her sister. This reminds me of Glass Animals. The very beginning. It's like eccentric. Okay, now it's getting this country guitar thing. Wait, why does this sound like a Hannah Montana song? I told myself I closed that door, but I'm right back here again. What? I feel like that's sampling a melody from a Hannah song. Wait, no, it sounds like Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Miles apart inside. Something like that. This feels like what Hannah Montana would sing if she was her age today. A Rolling Stone, but you like a neon light and her like a Rolling Stone. What's the line? Is it from the song High? Yeah, cool chords when the chorus ends. 1,000 miles from anywhere, and it's like this tense chord. I like that. Oh, so this Brandy person is harmonizing with her. Why is this Brandy person still getting more influence on this track than Lana did on Snow on the Beach? I wish we could have heard her voice more at least, even if she didn't solo any of it, but that's a problem with another album. What is that instrument? There's a weird vocal splicing happening. I don't want to say that's an accordion at the end there, but what the hell else could it be? Interesting. I'm musically confused. I want to know what's... Not like I don't think it makes sense on the album, but I don't know what's going on. What is that instrument? I'm usually able to pick out what they're using pretty easily. Maybe it's some kind of synthesizer. Ooh, it's like hip-hoppy? Not hip-hoppy, like a R&B? Oh, the chords. The chords. Drive down to Texas, flip off my exes. I love this one. I'm really liking this one. The soul. Oh my god. You want to do what? Under the Moon? I think this is the first time we're seeing piano, or at least like obvious piano that's kind of taking the stage in its song on this record. Oh my god, the way she said sex under the moon. Oh my god. I need to listen to that again. Her voice. Oh my god. The rhymes in this are so good. I got some baggage. Let's do some damage. Like, they're not perfect rhymes. This is so Miley. I'm not made for no horsey and carriage. You know, I'm savage. Obsessed. I'm obsessed. Amazing drums. I'll pick a fight to make it up on the floor of your room. These are cool lyrics. Oh my god, I don't need Jesus because baby you saved me. It's got this cool instrument again at the end. Okay, now we've got these alien sounds going on as it fades. The instrument, whatever it is that's doing that thing in... It's a Black Eyed Peas song. Where is the Love? If I'm not mistaken. To be fair, I don't know that many Black Eyed Peas songs. I love the imagery in this one. It's just got a lot of really cool things she wants to do. Crashing a wedding, getting drunk by the lights, and like picking a fight, cutting off my hair, kicking off my boots, dancing in the wind. So many visuals happening in this one, and I really like that. Drive down to Texas, flip off my exes, and the cigars, and getting kicked out of bars, set off alarms, deal out the cards. I like how it's not like generic stuff, I guess. Glass Animal Z again. With this droning thing. Is this where it shifts from AM to PM? I heard her talk about that. I bet it is. Okay, so 5 songs that are AM. Well, I wouldn't say that though, because like you sounded kind of PM-ish, but this is really like dingy, how she described. Ocean vibes? Who's big twitchy? Is that a drug or something? Oh, so this is defined as the final track on the AM side. Yeah, so it's 6 and 6, and then the Flowers demo. A very, very long spoken intro. It's very weird. You're questioning the science because you don't understand how I'm doing what I'm doing in a fucking handstand. My other one is busy, so I use my left hand. Why do I feel like that's dirty or something? Or she's flipping someone off. I see your mother's calling and you're hitting ignore. It's like you saw a unicorn, you didn't understand how I'm doing what I'm doing in a fucking handstand. That's dirty. What is this instrumental? It's like spacey. It's got an alien vibe. Really, really weird. Probably my least favorite one. I don't know. It's very like talking. I like when Miley sings because she just has such a good voice. Interesting lyrics, I guess. I don't know. I'd love to hear anybody else's thoughts on that one because I don't have that many. Ooh, this makes me think of the 70s. Ooh, it like swings in this cool... I believe this is the second single actually that was released today. Her voice, it's so low. It's so dancey. Yeah, I see this being the PM side. It makes me think of like Lizzo's latest album. It's got that same 70s fun dancey vibe. There's a double entendre going on here, like River. I mean, we know she's like bisexual or pansexual or whatever. She said, it never stops raining, then it starts raining down like love, like endlessly flowing love that never wavers. But also, they don't want me to talk about how the fact the song is about sex, it's nasty. Oh my god. I like that she made it apply to like a couple different things. It makes me think of Demi Lovato's song Come Together. It shares a name with the Beatles song, and it's like very romantic, but when you listen, you're like, I know what she's doing here. Same kind of thing going on with this one. It's fun, it's very danceable. She even said this is like one of the danciest ones, like a dance floor banger, and that being the opening of the PM side makes a lot of sense. This is very much a well thought out album. I really like that, because sometimes Miley doesn't have the most cohesive and organized creative direction, even though she's very talented and she has amazing like individual songs. It's cool to see her have a very together album. This reminds me of some stuff she did in like 2013. It feels like something out of the movie Spring Breakers from 2013. It's a very repetitive chorus, and halfway through I felt like it was gonna do something else. Like I thought it was gonna go into some like faster rhythm. Da 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 da. Like I don't know. Well, I guess that's kind of paralleling the verse melody, so maybe that's why. I was hearing something else in my head and it didn't happen, basically. The drums aren't as good as the ones in the first half of the album. Very static. They don't change a lot. Really synthy. Ooh, the bridge is changing it up. I like that. It's like hip-hoppy. So this contrasts an earlier idea in the album. May not be eternal, but nocturnal, nothing more. I think back to, what was it called? Shit. Rose-colored glasses, where she was like, we could pretend this is going to last forever, like this hunt for the eternal, and then in the PM it's kind of this acceptance that nothing lasts forever. Interesting. As time goes on, she gets more clarity and she's like thinking about how what she wanted in the morning can't happen. Usually people are more confused at night though, and they get feelings in the way, and it's like when the sun rises you're like, oh fuck, this is not what I thought I wanted. Sia's on this record? You're kidding. This one's short. It's just over 2 minutes. This is a cool beat. Oh my god, she's cussing so much within the first 10 seconds. Ooh, why does that feel so interesting? It's very simple again. You smell like perfume that I didn't purchase? What does it mean? Oh, stolen? Did she steal this person from somebody? I get it. Shoplifting. This person has someone else. Yeah. And she's like, shit, you feel like something I stole? And I don't want that. Now I see why you're closing the curtains. She's putting the pieces together. These vocals. This is threatening. She's like growling. This is the most different vocals we've seen so far. Ooh, it's like intense. Piano again, but it's like a lot different. Oh, is Sia about to show up for the bridge? Yep. I hear you, Sia. Oh, there is no bridge. This is the outro. That's it? Oh my god, people are talking Snow on the Beach 2.0. Yeah, that's funny. Because Brandi Carlile, you could hear her so clearly. And yeah, Sia didn't show up until the very end. I mean, I feel like those vocals were iconic Sia vocals. Like, it's very recognizable. You're like, oh my god, Sia. Even if you didn't know she was on this track, it's easy to figure it out, but you have to wait until the very end? Strange behavior. She sang about being wild many times already on this record even. I have to stretch my legs, so I'm gonna sit like this now. There's so many themes about like not necessarily being the girl you want to bring home to your mom, playing house, like this is not something she can do long term, being a nuclear family and whatnot, but at one point she was singing about having someone's babies. So that's interesting. Maybe she's conflicted or she feels like she's too young or something. I love these drums. They're like very fast. You can hear the guitar squeaking as the player changes chords. It feels like something Kesha would have done in 2010. Like the music. Is that a snare drum with a ton of effects on it? The chords and the bridge. You're kidding. They're so tense. The breakdown for the last pre-chorus. Yes, and then it like hits into the last chorus. That's what I wanted. I love a good dynamic contrast. It feels almost like tribal inspired. Interesting. I think that one will grow on me. The bridge is cool. There are not many bridges on this album, and I wish there was, because when there are bridges, they're pretty good, and the chords are pretty interesting, and they change up the chord progression from like the rest of the song. That's like a perfect song title for an album called Endless Summer Vacation. The intro was so different from when she started singing. It feels islandy. Left my lighter back at home with all my problems. Some of these one-liners are really cool. Groovy chorus. Very repetitive at the end. Oh, now her voice is echoing as it fades out. Is that the ocean? That's cool. It reminds me of Bottom of the Ocean from the Breakout album. Okay, I have some actual thoughts about this one lyrically. It makes me think of Flowers a little bit. What I like about this one, she's like self-isolating and she's like trying to get comfortable with being alone, and it's tricky. Like, I've got treasures buried underneath the sand, so close to heaven but so far from everyone. It's like she's unlocking this feeling within her that she's like pushing for because she knows it will be beneficial in the end, but she's still just striving for what she had before and like being around a bunch of people, but maybe those relationships weren't fulfilling, and she's trying to have this relationship with herself that will ultimately be better. And the pre-chorus I like because it's like she can't, like she left her lighter at home. Like she goes on this vacation on this island and she forgets her lighter writer, so she has to be sober and like sit in this discomfort. And I think that's an interesting concept. It's a little more complex than Flowers. This is like the track that would have been written before Flowers, maybe. It like chronologically should go before Flowers because Flowers is being very comfortable in being alone, but this one is like when she's first trying it out. What is the line? The only thing that's missing here is you and our TV. This might be me reading too deep into this, but this feels pretty deep. It feels like the only thing that's missing here is distractions from like my own thoughts. Like it feels very meditative what she's trying to do. The only thing that's missing is you, which was maybe an excuse to not be alone, this person, and the TV, which is such a symbol of becoming like numb in your mind. To just sit down in front of the TV every day after work or something. It's a distraction, it's mind numbing. And she's saying it gets lonely, there's this discomfort with it, but no one here needs anything from me. She's becoming more comfortable with it and not being needed and not having to accommodate other people. And then the chorus just asks this question in a very succinct way, which I like. Am I stranded on an island or have I landed in paradise? There are two ways to view this, like a blessing or a curse. And she's haunted by this guy's voice, but she's just willing to sit in this discomfort and not reach out to him and just force herself to be alone. That's like one of the worst parts after a breakup, is having to just sit on your own and like step out of your comfort zone, be comfortable in the uncomfortable. This song is just really speaking to me right now. I feel like it's supposed to be pretty deep. There's a lot going on lyrically. This is the one that has made me think the most, and it feels so tied into Flowers. Piano, the third song I think with piano. Oh, is this gonna be a ballad? Also, Stranded didn't feel like a PM song. It felt kind of morning-ish. Why does it sound like Arms of an Angel? This is so pretty. The chords. Oh my god. I've said that like 5 times. It's just my first reaction sometimes. That felt really short. I mean, it's only like 3 minutes. I love at the end, there's like an echoing effect or something, a droney thing. Okay, so something else that's interesting to me about this one lyrically, it feels like she might be talking about herself. She's a Wonder Woman, she knows what she likes, never knows she's broken because she's always fine. This is more like, I don't know, I feel like lyrically, conceptually, these songs aren't super chronological. Like it feels like she was really focusing on a sonic AM and PM, but I feel like she could arrange this in such an interesting way storyline wise as opposed to musically, because this is like this realization, never knowing you're broken because you're always fine. This feels like the step before Island, where you're like, oh shit, I've been distracting myself with whatever it may be, relationships, friendships, going out all the time, smoking, like drug use or alcohol use, as seen in the pre-chorus in Island. This is like the song that would come before that, and realizing that you're not actually fine, you've just been distracted, and you just didn't realize that you were struggling so much, and you need to like sit in the discomfort and the sadness instead of ignoring it. And again, this like self-isolating vibe, she makes sure that no one's around to see her fall apart, like a wounded animal seeking solitude somewhere. There are a lot of really interesting themes on this album, and I feel like she could have arranged them in a way that made a little more sense, but she chose like the musical route. All the pain is polished, all the tears are planned. Does that mean like how she's kind of using her suffering for her art and capitalizing on her pain through writing these songs and then making money? I might be reading too deep into it again. It's interesting, like especially with a lead single like Flowers, to show us that she's so comfortable being alone, but then we see some songs where she's kind of doubting that. She's like, is being alone not all that it's cracked up to be, or am I doing this because I'm afraid of others seeing me fall apart? There's quite a lot to think about. Okay, yeah, the album's like really winding down into this more sad vibe because the Flowers demo is so much sadder. I'm gonna listen to it again just to get the full picture because I only listened to it once. Yeah, it's a sad synthesizer thing. Yeah, it feels very much like she's trying to convince herself. Started to cry, but then I remembered I can buy myself flowers. She's like repeating these mantras to herself. Like, oh, what do they call those things that you repeat over and over? Your, like those manifesting things? Affirmations. That's what it feels like. This feels like a song full of affirmations as opposed to like being completely comfortable with the idea. I mean, it's a demo, so it was the first take that was recorded versus the more polished one. And for her to be like, I can love me better, it's like almost a whisper. She's not fully confident in saying this yet. She doesn't realize it yet. And after going through the entire album, we see how it started. It's in reverse chronological order. Yeah, because we get Flowers, and then we get Stranded, and then we get Wonder Woman, and it's showing us how she got to the first song. That's so cool. I bet there are other songs that fit into this narrative. I'm gonna listen to this album backwards tomorrow. Yeah, God, it hits. I didn't realize this when I first heard this demo, that she was so much quieter and not as sure of herself in the delivery. It's in reverse chronological order. That was fascinating. Okay, overall thoughts, my favorite songs. Flowers for sure is my favorite. I'm basic. I also liked You, Jaded, Rose-Colored Lenses, Island was the most interesting to think on. Yeah, those are my like 4-ish standouts. I need to re-listen though. As of right now, I liked Plastic Hearts more just for the genre, and also lyrically it was very interesting. I like when Miley gets angry because it lends this really interesting tone to her voice. There were some interesting moments in this one vocally too though that I just need to go back and like familiarize myself more with because I can't point them out right now because I kind of forgot what songs they were in. But yeah, I think this album needs to be listened to backwards because I think it's in reverse chronological order. Even though we have AM and PM, AM is a little more accepting of the reality of the situation lyrically. There's a lot to think about. I think it's one of the most well thought out album concepts. Pretty exciting. I would love to hear all of your favorite songs down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on my Instagram, it is right here. And if you want to follow me on my TikTok, that is right here. I will see you all next week for another video, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye guys.